Hey everybody, Dave Nassy here with Next Level Guitar. We're continuing with our great series of how we can do pentatonics a little bit different. And really excited about this lesson. We're going to superimpose pentatonics today. And superimposing basically means is we're going to play a different pentatonic scale than matches the chord. And we're just going to try to do some unique sounds and see what they get when we play them. More importantly, what notes we achieve when doing so. So let's start right away based off of our A major chord. So I'm going to play my A, and the first thing that I want to think about is I want to bring out this chord. Now look at that crazy chord. Right? This is a major 9 chord. And when we use pentatonics in different places and we plug them into certain spots within the key, we can establish the tonality of a chord like this even while somebody's just playing a bar chord or a power chord. To bring out this tonality, we're going to play our major pentatonic scale starting on the 5th of an A major chord. Well, the 5th of an A major chord is an E. So from that E, I'm going to play my E major pentatonic shape. Now we're going to get a unique sound out of that. The way that I'm going to play this to make it really easy and relatable is I'm going to put my pinky on the 12th fret and I'm going to play this form of our pentatonic. It's really familiar to us. We use this one quite often. And I'm going to use that one for this particular explanation. Because listen to what happens if I play. Click on the link that you see below in that YouTube text box. What do you get if you click that link? Well, you're going to get a bunch of free information is what you're going to get. You're going to get a coinciding ebook that you would never find anywhere else. You're going to have all kinds of scales and chord diagrams in it. Most importantly, you get a free video not available on YouTube. So if you click on that link below, free video, coinciding ebook, all kinds of good information. I started with my major pentatonic. I'm getting some of those interesting notes in there that I might not normally get, which is the 6th in our pentatonic of A. So that F sharp. I love the sound of that. And of course, if we're talking about getting our 9, we're going to get our B in there. And so we have that. And a lot of times, you know, you'll hear people play progressions that are simple, that are just maybe an A to an E. Well, the reason why this sounds so sweet and the major tonality has such a richness to it is because ultimately we're spelling out this chord when we play that way. And when I do this, a lot of times I'll just hit one single note. If you have a loop pedal, you can maybe loop just an A chord ringing out and you can listen to the tonality changing. But right now, I'll just hit that A and it'll be good enough to ring out. So we can do something even more different with this is we can bring out a different tonality by starting on B major. Okay, so again, B major would be here. And I know what you're thinking. You're going to play B major pentatonic over an A major chord. It's totally going to work. It gives a really nice suspended sound. You bring out a little more of the 13th chord in it, but if I hit this A, has a really nice sound to it. I'm just going to that B just to really keep those tones rich. And it's a different way to approach it. I'm not really going for crazy licks. I'm looking for tone and I'm looking for those notes. those really specific notes that help achieve a sound. And real easily here, I'm focusing on this tonality by playing here. You can really hear it as I bring that out. And then as I play the B major over the A, you can really hear that uniqueness to it. I love that. One other way to kind of look at it, and how I was kind of came to light for me, was when you take a chord like a G major and you break it down to what its actual notes are. You know, you have a G, a B, a D in that chord, and then if I go to an F sharp here, look at what happens here. I have a G, a B, a D, and an F sharp. Now all of a sudden, I've got a B minor chord existing within what is ultimately my G major 7. So what I'll have people do sometimes is play B minor pentatonic over a G. And it's going to establish that tonality of a major 7. How it does that is because the same notes that make up my minor pentatonic are the same notes that are in this chord. So it's all good. There's some extra ones in there, sure, but it's going to bring that tonality out. So listen to B minor over a G power chord. Make it a little more of a full chord. Now B is minor in the key of G, absolutely. But I'm recognizing what the note value is. And then I'll go to that B minor. So you can hear that sound, and I'm in the key of G, not using E as my relative minor to solo over these chords, which I could do, and I'll do in a second. Hearing more of that kind of sound by playing that way. So if I had a progression that went like, I could technically mix it up a little bit. I could play over the G and the B. And then if it goes to that E, so you can hear the changes in sounds that are going on as I establish, you know, maybe playing a different scale over a different chord. Let's take a jazz progression, and you know, it could be a simple one. We'll take a D minor 7. Everybody knows that trusty old D minor 7. And we're going to play it against this big fancy chord. Look at this, people. We love it. Woo! Zoom in for this guy. We've got the F, we've got the B, we've got a D sharp, and then we have an A sharp. This is a G 7 sharp 5 sharp 9. We love that chord. We're going to bounce between that one and a voicing that looks like this. In the key of G, A is my 9 or my 2. So when I hit that note, it makes them sharp, and when I hit that note, it makes them flat, because that's normally my A. So that's how we're keeping that straightforward. So if I go like this, now I can play pentatonic over this chord. I can actually start pentatonic, a minor pentatonic, off of my A sharp. And it's going to give me some of those notes that I can play in over that change. So let's say if you're jamming with somebody and they're doing their nice little snazzy jazz change, and we're doing these interesting chords, well, over this, I could play D minor pentatonic, because D minor pentatonic is the same notes as that dude. So I can go do some cool, crazy licks, whatever the case may be. We're talking concepts right now, kind of. So as we go through this, we have some fun licks we could play. Then if somebody goes here, I can go back. And that's going to cover some of my notes here. And all I played was my A sharp minor pentatonic. And it's going to work over that chord because I'm getting some of those notes that are in there. Let's point those notes out. Well, first off, we can see that one. That's pretty easy. And I have to have a D sharp in there. Well, it's right here. So I'm going to, you know, I'm rich with those sounds. Very simply said, if somebody plays a dominant chord and you are looking at what pentatonic scale to play, all you got to do is start from that sharp 9, and you're covered. And it's your minor pentatonic shape, and then everything is going to shift accordingly. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you how you can take just a simple chord and apply these concepts. So I'm going to loop an A chord. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my E major pentatonic, or what could often be referred to as your C sharp minor pentatonic, over this A chord. So what you're looking for when doing this idea, as we talked about, were those notes. That F sharp, right? That 6. That 9 from that B. Now if I go to B major pentatonic, I'm going to get some of those different sounds, some of that 13th kind of a sound. It's a really interesting way. Your resolving points, everything totally change. Back to where I was when I started. Back to my B. So it's just a nice way where we can get some of these sounds. Even when those blues licks sound nice, there's a little bit of tension there for a minute. So with these examples, with a simple chord, you can really get outside using the pentatonic scale and come up with some very interesting melodies. I hope you found this useful, and it was a pleasure of mine to bring it to you. So I will see you next time. Thank you so much.